thank you very much for this great opportunity, and thank you very much everyone for joining our presentation. I guess you heard a lot of pitches today, but we will not talk about our ICO. We will talk about how to do an ICO actually. But first, we will start with a very broad representation of what we are actually doing.
So maybe we already met during the conference. We are doing Etheal, which is basically the decentralized Yelp of medical tourism, because it's growing 25% each year. It's $100 billion business. And the trust is missing, so the current middleman called patient mediators can charge up to 30% in commission. So we cut them, we use blockchain, we're working on this product in the last 4 years. But we are going to talk about our experience now of analyzing 850 ICOs.
Yeah, Vito just said we are focusing on medical tourism, but that's for another day. One move, one Lambo, the analysis of 850 ICOs. We think there are 6 important parts of an ICO. We will go one by one. We will tell you each other what do we think about. But before that, let me tell you, we heard some pretty successful ICOs in the last year. For example, the Slovakian co-founders of District 0x raised almost $30 million. And 10x, who has Austrian co-founders, one of them is here in the room, they raised 80 million. And we thought, oh, that might be really easy. And boy, we was wrong. We was so wrong. It's so hard. But before that, when you should do an ICO, first one, we thought it would take about 3 months to do an ICO, and it was a mistake. It took a year. It took a whole year to do an ICO. After, you have to have a vision that will make the world a more fair and more transparent place. The third one, you need to have at least 9 to 18 bitcoins. Now it's even more. Maybe you even have $500,000 to do the marketing and the sales and the team and everything for an ICO. And the fourth one, and we think this is the most important, your product must be better with blockchain than without blockchain.
So, and the last one is the team and advisors. So obviously you need a team and advisors to do the ICO, but the product as well. So for example, we have Michael Turpin and David Orban on board. So these people are giving and donating their time and energy to your product. So you really have to respect them. You have to put the energy in up front so they can help you out as well. Obviously, it takes a lot of time and money to do it, so having early investors helps a lot. So for example, our early investors exited and built up their company, e-commerce company, which sells $56 million worth of services each year.
Okay, when you shouldn't do an ICO. First one, if your biggest motivation to drive a Lambo in 3 months. If you raise $1 million, you didn't earn $1 million, you are owing your contributors, your community, $100 million. Because with an ICO, you promise that you will make their money 100x. Second one, if your biggest raise on a shitcoin X raised $5 million, it happened in the past, but those times are over. It's very low chance that it will happen in the future again. Third one, we haven't seen any successful ICOs that was done beside a full-time job. So we think you have to put 70 hours a week, at least for 6 months, to do a successful ICO. And the last one, if somebody can convince you not to do an ICO on a conference, then you shouldn't do an ICO.
Yeah, the white paper is quite trivial, so I don't want to talk too much about that. It's basically your vision, how to integrate the blockchain, your business model, and you really need time for it because you have to redo it. Getting feedback and getting the final version of the white paper takes at least 3 months.
We are not legal advisors, but I would like to show you 2 interesting statistics. The first one, the most ICOs came from the US and Russia. It might be not that surprising. But it's more interesting that the per capita ratio of ICOs are the highest in Estonia, Singapore, here, and Slovenia. We are incorporated in Estonia as well.
Yeah, the smart contracts. So I'm a developer myself and I always get the question, which system, blockchain, should they use who are approaching me? And we're using Ethereum and Solidity. And if you are yourself a developer or you are employing someone who is writing the smart contract for you, I really recommend the Etheal by Open Zeppelin, because it is basically an online capture the flag hacker contest where you have to hack 6 different contracts on the test Ethereum network. And it's totally different experience if you just only read about the DAO hack, the parity hack, and so on, or you're actually writing the code, which either way takes over the contract or stealing the test Ethereum from the test Ethereum net. So it's totally different. So please look at it. Go through it yourself or your guy who is doing the smart contract development, because it's very important to do a secure smart contract. And also, if you develop the smart contract, the second step, you have to test it. So myself, I developed 180 unit tests, and after it, you have to audit it. We were speaking with 18 companies who are specialized on smart contract auditing, and the price is between $15,000 and $100,000, and it takes time as well. So these companies are booked out, so please give time to it. And also I suggest you to use Open Zeppelin contracts and contributing to them. This is a nice project, well-tested project. Please use it, it's very nice. And also read Consensus Security Best Practices. For ourselves, we working with Blockchain Labs New Zealand for the smart contract auditing, and Silent Signal Company, which is a general IT security firm. So the security, obvious one, DDoS protection, please do it. And also enable two-factor authentication, because we have seen ICO who get hacked through the DDoS protection because their email address and password was leaked during a Yahoo leak, and they hacked the DDoS protection and they hacked their website. So please, wherever you can, use two-factor authentication and protect your communication channels. And also, please use your common sense, because if you look at this message I get on Slack, this is a very easy scam. They didn't even bother to create a fake MyEther wallet. They just send this message with an Ethereum address and they made $500,000 of it. So very basic scams can make lots of money. It's crazy.
Working in marketing for 8 years and in 18 industries, I can confidently say that ICO marketing is pretty unique. The two most effective channels for us are Twitter and Telegram. And this is, in the last 4 years, we have been running an advertising agency. And this was the method that we were thinking about communication. First, we grab data, interviews, focus groups, third-party data, quantitative research, and after that we test them. We test the unique selling propositions, the benefits, the actual copy lines, and we use only the winners in our communication. I will show you a real example now. When we started to communicate our ICO, we used these exact banners on Facebook. For example, we use a line, "Are you fed up with politically influenced healthcare?" On another one, we used a lot of emojis. We even use cartoon characters, and even we go extreme and use the line, "Make healthcare great again." And guess what? All of them failed hard. But there was one that stood out, and it said, "Why did the Harvard Medical School alumnus professor join Etheal?" So the next day, we shot a video with the professor, and he talks about why did he join Etheal. Because we know that people are interested in this. After Slack lost its leading position in the ICO space in the autumn, in September, because there's so much hacks, Telegram became the prominent channel, and it is today as well. And we were the very first ICOs who rewarded participants to use Etheal and these two hearts in their name on Telegram, and they gave us a great brand exposure.
Yeah, as the founder of ICO says, you can't ignore bitcointalk.org because both the trust and the money lives there. So please use it. But we are very huge fans of Elon Musk, and he says always reason from first principle. And what does he mean by that? It's basically always don't really mindlessly copy others. Make the thinking for yourself. Look at the smallest truths and build up from that. So on bitcointalk.org, lots of ICOs are rewarding participants to put something in their signature, but there's limitations for new members. So new members can have only 160 characters, can't have big letters, and so on and so on. So on the left you can see 3 signatures from ICOs, and on the right you can see our signature for our ICO. Basically we did a little bit of thinking, and by using ASCII characters, for the smallest members in bitcointalk.org, it's already the signature is big letters, Etheal. So it gives us a little bit of more exposure. So really make your thinking for yourself, make your calculations for yourself, and don't trust others. Don't just mindlessly copy everyone else.
So we got a lot of interesting offers from PR companies, marketing companies, community builders, and ICO listing sites as well. And they would ask for 1 Bitcoin, 2 Bitcoin, or even 3 Bitcoin just to listing our ICO on their site. And we analyzed some of the websites and we found out that they have less than 5,000 visits per month. So we analyzed the referral traffic of 850 ICOs and we found out that there are only 12 websites that gave the 92% of the referral traffic. These were CoinMarketCap, ICO Alert, Token Market Net, and the other ones. And there is only one thing that is constant in the ICO space, and that is change. For example, ICO Bench started about 6 months ago, and they have 2 million visitors. And also there is a more extreme example, walletinvestor.com, which is a price prediction website. They started just 3 months ago, and now they have 4 million visits every month. So the landscape is changing very fast. And you already know this, but it's very important to go conferences like this because you can have partnerships, advisors, and interesting feedback. And the last one that we want to talk about, and we think this is the most important, give value. For example, we don't ask and don't beg for YouTubers to create a video with us, but we give exposure to other founders of other ICOs and blockchain projects. So we did more than 30 interviews with other ICOs, and we put it on our YouTube. So to sum it up, you need a team who can develop a real product as well, not just an ICO. You need to learn hack the smart contracts before you develop your own smart contract. Also, in the marketing part, give value. And one last thing, we have a fun airdrop now. If you send your Ethereum address to this email address, we will send back to you 1 Etheal token. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you.
Hey guys, thanks a lot for presentation. You know this graph about the referral traffic, the highest quality referral traffic, is this after the company actually started the ICO and got listed, or before it got listed on exchanges? Because I think I noticed a couple of exchanges there.
Yeah, so we don't know what kind of exact traffic, it's referral traffic. So exchanges do advertising as well. So it can be advertising on this. For example, CoinMarketCap do a lot of advertising for ICOs as well. So it's that kind of traffic.
Okay, got it. So even before they got listed, they can still place their ads.
Yes.
Got it. Thanks.
Any other questions?
Thank you for the presentation. So if you have to do it all over again, knowing that what you know right now, what would you change it and how that would affect your timing or your team building or your marketing efforts?
We would start earlier with conferences. We started to go conferences just after our public pre-sale. We would start it earlier. Would you share anything?
Yeah, and give time basically, because you have to go out and get feedback from real people. So going conferences, not just for advisors and investors, but getting real feedback from real people. Because if I'm standing here, this was the most useful thing, because lots of people approach me and I have to explain over and over and over what we do. And after a while I get tired, right? So I forced to do it like in 1 minute. It's not because I only have 1 minute, because I lost my voice, right? So you are forced to explain what you do very clearly in 1 minute, and you have clear feedback whether they get it or not what you do. So really going out earlier and getting real feedback.
One last thing, I would hire 2 additional analyzers, data analysts, because I get so many scammy offers from PR companies, marketing companies, and it's very hard to know which are valuable, which will give you a high return on investment. So we have to analyze a lot. So I would start hiring with the analysts.
Would you also use the same advisor set, or along the way of those 1 year period, you found someone that potentially you want to work with?
Yeah, so actually we are still expanding our advisory board. We need more advisors from the crypto space as well, from Asia and and from the healthcare as well, because we really want to have an impact and improve the lives of 1 billion people. So we need real partnerships from the healthcare space as well, because it's very hard to go in. And would you?
Yeah, I disagree because the guys we got on board they are very knowledgeable, and actually they are at the place where we are going, right? So if you want to go somewhere, you have to find someone who already were there before, right? So what we got on board, I'm very happy with it, and yes, I would expand it more, because obviously we really have to expand to 20 countries, because now only 2 in Hungary and Brazil, so we have to expand our operations, and for that you need partnerships, obviously. So.